Tristen
and CC,
your curators of couples experiences, and you are now
sitting with the Suttons. Woo! Gotta love technology.
I love technology. We back though.
We are back. We want to thank you so much for welcoming us into your homes tonight. It's been a while since we've seen you. It's been a few things going on in the world.
Just a little bit, some things going up in Washington, I believe.
Something like that.
All that good stuff.
But we're glad that you will have us. We're not going to take up much of your time tonight, but we know that tonight's topic is extremely important because it is something that a lot of people just go into marriage just like, I just want to be in love, the end.
That's it.
And
I just want the wedding, the ring, the pictures for the gram.
Yes.
Make my single friends jealous.
Yes.
Yeah, because y'all use weddings as cap.
Yes,
and
you
flex.
do. Cap
we
and
see
flex. But tonight we're going to be talking to the singles, to the newlyweds, to the engaged, and even to those of us who may have been in this thing but still trying to figure it out. Yes. Tonight's topic is about the 10 things that nobody tells you about marriage. It's more than 10.
More than 10.
But these are the main ones. If you can get these 10 down, then I think you'll be okay. But here's how things used to be. Back in the day. In the good old days. People used to sit down and have conversations about what to expect about marriage.
Kind of like a village, right?
Kind of like a village. It takes a village to get you ready for a marriage. But today, it just seems like no one's talking about that. All they're talking about, like you said, is planning the wedding. Yeah. And girl, just make sure you cook for him and make sure y'all love each other. But there's more to the story than that.
Heck of a lot more.
Yes. So tonight, we're going to jump straight into it. Again, we ask that you tag all your good friends who need this good word.
Share this on your news feed, your timeline, who needs to hear this, the people that are about to get married. Or even newlyweds. Yes.
We've been married for 13 very fun years.
Very fun.
Very, very fun years. Uninterrupted. I like how you put that on there. Uninterrupted, honey. Because, listen, no shade, but some of these marriages we got, they interrupted,
Yeah, and it's no judgment.
No judgment. But we're very proud to say that we have been able to push through. Because let me tell you something. Regardless of what you see on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all these other social media platforms, marriage is real. It goes through seasons, and it requires some strong tools to make it work.
Ooh, what kind of tools would it take though, baby?
The hoe, the rake, the shovel, everything else in between.
We gardening?
Yes, because I'm a gardener. So we want to thank you again for joining us tonight. Let's jump straight into it. The very first thing that people do not tell you about marriage is that marriage does not complete you.
It does not.
This one we're starting off with because so often you hear people saying, oh, I want to get married because I want him to do for me. All this stuff.
Right.
Okay. The problem with that is that you're going into it with all these expectations for feeling completed, because unfortunately society makes so many people, when you're single, they make you feel like you don't have purpose, you're not completed, you're missing out on something.
It's not true.
It is so not true. So you have to get your mind right first, and you have to make sure that you're complete, that you've handled all your little issues, or that you're at least working on them, because marriage is not going to complete you.
Two things on that. So you're saying I don't complete you?
Well, now.
I know the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. I complete you.
You do complete me, but I did not go into this thing looking for you to complete me.
Fair enough. Second thing on that is too often men and women go into a marriage expecting their spouse to be the handyman of their emotions and their mentality and their goals and things like that. Yes. You don't have to be 100% who you are, but you have to have a strong foundation. Yes. Know who you are, what you like, what you don't like, where you want to go, where you don't want to go, and then you can bring that into the relationship and then build upon that. But if you're still lost and wondering, it's two blind mice.
It's two blind mice. Marriage, once again, does not complete you. You need to also be very clear on what is it do I have to offer a marriage, okay? Ask yourselves that. Take the time. What do I bring to the table? Because it's very clear about what you want, but what is it that you have to bring to the table? Because that other person has their list too of things that they need.
Some of them have a laundry list.
Yes.
Like those CVS receipts.
You're a mess. And they are long. But just make sure, number one, again, that you understand that marriage does not complete you. Only you can come in ready to go whole. Okay? Absolutely. The second thing, premarital counseling is not optional, okay? Forget what your friends are saying. Forget what Bay is telling you. We known each other forever. We don't need no premarital counseling. Forget the fact that y'all may already live together. I don't care what your circumstance is. Premarital counseling should not be optional. There are some things that we've learned about each other in premarital counseling that I just don't think we would have learned.
She wanted a bunch of kids. I didn't want kids.
That is not true, y'all. Please don't believe the streets.
She wanted to pay all the bills. I was like, but that's the man's job.
You such a mess. Listen, there are some things right now that y'all have not discussed, okay? And truthfully, you can't think of everything to discuss. Right. Premarital counseling creates a neutral ground for you all to be able to talk about some things that maybe normally would not have come up, okay? When we did premarital counseling, not only did we do it with the pastor, but who else did we do it with?
We went to different ones. So we went to the required one.
Yes.
For the pastor, Timothy Sloan, who officiated our wedding.
Yes.
And then we went to Lakewood just because they were offering it and said, hey, can't hurt. And then some friends of ours really strongly advised Engaged Encounters, which is a Catholic marriage counseling retreat where you spend 2-3 days in the woods. And we're not even Catholic.
Yeah.
But we heard it was so intense, and it was. And it was really one of the best things. We literally left with a workbook on how many kids do you want? What are you going to do about your finances? What if a family member needs to move in? What if you get laid off? Like almost everything. Situation, good or bad, that you can imagine, you at least had a conversation about it. So there were no really big surprises outside of a pandemic.
Yes, please do not lie to yourself and tell each other, well, we made it through the pandemic, so we can make it through this marriage thing. You got to take the time to do premarital counseling. Absolutely. We can't drive home that point enough. Okay. Absolutely. Number 3. Here's the secret. Poor communication is the number one reason why marriages end. Yes. Now, you may be saying, CC, I thought it was finances. I thought it was having children. I thought it was in-laws. But if you look at all of that, the root of that is poor communication.
Absolutely. Communicating, how do we handle bills? Do we have joint or separate accounts? Yeah. If you get laid off, if I want to start a business, can you be the financial foundation of this household? Yeah. And vice versa, and things like that. So having those conversations, so when you get that, oh, hey, honey, want to talk to you about something, it's not like, whoa, news, did not see this coming.
Right.
At least you have a foundation to build upon.
And let's be honest, men and women communicate completely differently.
We're clear and logical and precise to the point.
And y'all only want it to be said one time. Women, on the other hand, for some reason, we have this repetition button within us that means sometimes you all view it as nagging.
Is it a redundancy button?
Well, no, it's repetition to drive home a point to make sure that you understand. You got to remember, we're nurturers. Right. And you, as nurturers, we're dealing with little people, children all the time, and we have to remind them Well, now, I'm just saying how our minds are programmed, okay? So ladies, I'm not saying that that's the best approach, okay? I remember when we first got married, I nagged Tristen so much that I got sick of it myself.
Somebody lied to her and said nagging was the way. I showed her.
I did not really realize I was nagging though, y'all. And women, we come from good intentions. We really, really do. Our intention is not to nag, but what ends up happening, y'all shut down.
We will.
Y'all shut all the way down. And then we start to feel hurt. Because a lot of times there are a lot of men who honestly have a hard time communicating, period.
Yes.
Okay, period. Yes. So if you already have that coupled with the fact that we're nagging you, it's a recipe for disaster.
You know, real men typically don't like a lot of repetition, right? You know, I said what I said and I meant what I said. Yeah. So if we say it once or twice, by that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th time, now we're in some different waters.
Yeah. If you agree with him, type I agree with T in the chat log. But if you agree with me, please let me know too. It's not that we intend to be nagging.
If you nag your husband, say nag in the comments.
Ain't nobody going to admit that tonight. Quit playing. Quit playing. Number 4. Here's something else that people do not tell you. Being in love is a stage of relationship that just honestly doesn't always last forever. That feeling is what I really want to address. Yes. It's that high, that feeling that we're trying to chase.
It could be infatuation. It could be lust. So, after you get past the honeymoon stage, that feeling of lust can go away. Yeah. Or the infatuation. Oh, they did everything I wanted. They look so good and they say the right things, but then sometimes it's gotcha now. That goes out the window. Sometimes you marry a representative. And then once they get the ring, now they go to another place and now you get the real person.
That's so true. Marriage goes through phases. And the worst thing that you can do is allow your feelings to carry you through those phases. Yeah. Feelings are very fleeting. Okay, they come, they go. They will trick you into thinking that I don't love this person anymore. Yeah. You have to be very, very careful and keep your feelings in check, because again, that feeling of being in love just won't last forever. It really won't.
You need something more sustainable. You need the foundation of love, trust, communication, and goal setting as well. You know, where do we want to go with our marriage? What do we want to accomplish? What do we want to do for the community and things like that? So it can't just be the lust and the infatuation. It has to be on the communication and those core principles.
I think the best thing you can do is marry your friend. If you married your friend or you're dating your friend right now, I want you to put that in the chat log. I married my friend.
Yeah.
I married my best friend. I truly did.
Not the friend with benefits, but the friend.
A real, genuine, platonic friend. You all started off as friends before you committed to a relationship.
Right, because she first tried to holler at me.
Oh, my God.
Then somehow she curved me and then said, oh, it's really real out here. Let me go back and get this good guy.
Yeah. You sure right.
I appreciate you being honest.
At any rate, I can't emphasize the importance of friendship enough, because there are going to be some days where you honestly just not feeling that dude. Like, you know, what are we doing?
You know, I work her nerves sometimes, even 13 years in. I'm not the tidiest person around the house. And so, but she got a foundation of love of who I really am, my character, personality. So when I leave shoes laying around or dishes laying around, she can overcome that anger, because you're still human. You're still going to get upset or bothered by things, but it's how you process it. I always like to say, you take a lot of stuff from work. You don't curse out your coworkers or your boss if they talk to you sideways. So don't come home and your life partner, your love, treat them with less respect than the people that just cut you a check.
That's good. That's good. I remember one day you asked me, do you speak to your boss like that at work? I had to get it together.
I said, do you talk to Paul like that? Don't talk to Tristen like that.
That is real. And you need to be able to have those kinds of conversations, because again, communication is the main breakdown in a lot of relationships.
And create a safe space for communication like that. Create a safe space. You know, our phrase is out of love. We'll get to that later, but really, you are in a marriage for life. That's where the way it's set up to be. So you need a place to where you can say, hey, I have something I need to talk to you that's been bothering me, and if I can't get this off my chest, there's going to be a problem with our relationship going forward. So I need to be able to communicate my problems, grievances, concerns, discomforts, and things like that. In a safe place to where it's not clap back, tit for tat. It's, okay, I hear your concerns. Let me process that maybe, or let me respond right away and work on that immediately.
He's talking about out of love. You hear us probably talk about this every episode, because it is valid to every topic that we talk about. But once again, having tough conversations is about creating a safe space for tough conversations. No one likes to be caught off guard. That's where you get the tit for tat, clap back. We don't want that. And so what we always do when we know that we have tough conversations to have, we start off the conversation with, hey, out of love. Here's what I need to tell you.
You nagging me.
Out of love, CC, you are nagging me right now. And it's really kind of frustrating me. And the only thing that CC can say is, I apologize. My intent is not to nag you. I will work on that. Period. It ain't no clap back. It's not no tit for tat. You will save yourselves a lot of headaches just by practicing that. What we got over here?
We got Miss Elizabeth saying, I tell people that about how they talk to their children too. In HR, I deal with grown idiots that I brought on my tongue for professionally. So my daughter and or future husband deserve even more. Amen.
That's good. I like how you put that. So if I'm putting that much effort towards somebody on the job, I need to be putting forth even more effort with my spouse. Because
on their job, if you leave, quit, die, they'll replace you within 24 hours. Your position will be on monster.com as soon as you walk out the door, not before.
That's right. That's good. So that was number 4. Number 5, love can grow with time and effort. Listen, this love thing, I know a lot of y'all think it's a feeling, but it's an act. Let me tell you something. Marriage is one of the most selfless acts you can ever commit to. Outside of raising children, marriage is one of the most selfless acts. So for those of you all who know you're selfish and stingy, this may not be your ministry. Let's just be honest. That is something you need to work on. If you know you are selfish and you don't like, and let's be honest, a lot of us are getting older now, okay? And we're still looking to be married, but we don't want to give up a lot of stuff. We don't want to sacrifice, okay?
And too many people are stuck on, I don't want to compromise. They got this mentality that accepting things that aren't 100% on your checklist is a compromise, and we all compromise in life. You compromise on your job. You may not have wanted to work 45 minutes away. You know, you compromise with church. You may wanted a daughter, but got a son. But life goes on, and you love that individual. So you have to make sure, once again, it goes back to that foundation of love and making sure they meet the key things. Are they Christian? Do they work hard? You know, they are respectful, things like that.
Yes, getting back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
There are a lot of basics that we have gotten so far away from. Now it's all about the 666, which is the six pack, the six figures. What's that other six? I always miss that other six. Six
feet tall.
Oh, 6 feet tall. Like, we got to have all these other things lined up. But what we're really missing is an entire human being, an entire person. There's so much more that needs to be brought into the marriage outside of the 666.
Absolutely. So people treat that 666 list as a requisite list instead of a preference list, because there are a lot of brothers that are 6 foot tall, 6 packed up, and making 6 figures that are putting 6 wounds on you
straight up
monthly,
straight up.
cheating on you with 6 other women
straight up.
So there's, you know, you got to pick your battles.
You do. You do. That's gonna be a whole nother topic. You know, we're gonna come back to it. Here's the 6th one. You will have to make a conscious effort to maintain the romance in your marriage. Now, I know why y'all dating. Y'all getting it on every other second. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But once you add the 12 children into the equation and the job that works your nerves.
The practices and the recitals and all that other stuff.
Romance can easily take a back seat. And it doesn't mean that you don't love that person anymore or that you don't enjoy it. It just means now we might have to schedule that thing. We might have to say, hey.
You're going to have to be very intentional with your getting it on.
You will.
As you get busier and life happens, because it's important. And too often, if the husband or wife isn't getting what they need at home, they'll leave the reservation for resources.
Yeah. So how do you communicate that? How do you tell your spouse who, you know, just did all that stuff with the kids, they're exhausted, they're tired, they ain't got nothing in them. Yeah. How do you tell them, hey, babe,
I bet if your boss asks you, you do it.
Here you go. I bet if somebody was paying you, you do it. Here's the deal. We have a code word right here. We say, hey, I need to be friends tonight, okay? Yeah. And if one says, babe, I really want to be friends with you, but I'm so exhausted, maybe can we do it in the morning when I'm fresh?
Compromise.
Compromise. Again, you can't always say, though, I'm tired, babe. Sometimes you're just going to have to lay there and receive. It's all right. You just need, or give.
Sometimes I'll be like, I'm tired, but all right, here you go. Here you go. Take all of me.
Oh, Lord. We're just being real with you. You can't think that something's wrong with your marriage or that it's breaking down because the other person just may not have it to give right now or tomorrow.
I'm curious, anybody else have like a phrase? Type it in the comments that you need to let your significant other know, hey, babe, it's time to make marriage great again.
Let us know how y'all let each other know. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. It's time to make marriage great again. Boom. We need to make marriage great again tonight.
Boom. Exactly. But see why? Oh, that's another song.
Stop.
Another show.
But the point is that spontaneity that you're used to initially, it may not always be there, and it is okay. Mm-hmm. Stop comparing and contrasting your marriage with all these other things that you see on TV that is not realistic. Mm-hmm. Let's be real about life. Yes. And let's extend grace to each other and just understand life is real. Yeah. We get tired. We get weary.
The spirit is tired, Bob.
Number 7, you will both change.
Absolutely.
Period. It's inevitable. It is inevitable. A marriage is a crucible for change. It's always going to be something evolving. And there's a saying that says, women marry hoping men will change, and men marry hoping women will never change.
But I'm so glad she changed.
Listen, it's going to happen. You ain't happy. You like the changes that I've made, but you weren't looking for me to make. And that's the point. Don't go into marriage looking for this person to change into what you want them to be.
Right.
Okay? That's where we fall. Men are very black and white.
Yes.
We women create the gray.
Yes, y'all do.
And
not 50 Shades of it either.
And when we do create the gray, we end up so hurt. Because here's what happens. Here are the conversations that I hear very often before she gets married. Oh, I wish she would change this, that, and the third. She articulates that to him. I wish you would change this, that, and the third. He says back to her,
what I ain't going to do is change.
Babe, I love you. I want to marry you. But I don't plan on changing, and I understand if you don't want to still marry me. But guess what she does? She still decides to marry him because secretly she's thinking, yeah, I'll be able to change it later on. I'll be able to do that.
I can work on that.
I can work on that. And hands down, 99% of the time, it never happens and they end up divorced. And really, if you look back on it, you can tell yourself, I set myself up for failure in that.
It's like the difference between going to gallery furniture and IKEA.
Oh.
Gallery furniture, it's already assembled.
Oh.
But when you go to IKEA, you got to walk around that big store, put it in the car, go home, and then assemble it for half the day. Yeah. Now, you can take the journey of trying to do a do-it-yourself project or find someone who already has a personality and beliefs that are in alignment enough with yours. Yeah. Now it's okay, I accept them for who they are, but let's grow together.
That's good.
Not change for me. That's two different things.
Yes. Oh, I like how you broke that down. Yes. And a lot of times, we talked about preferences and requirements. These preferences are things that are negotiable. These requirements, though, are things that, look, you better go find you somebody who aligns with that because they may not change.
Absolutely. So, example, what's the difference between preference and requisite? Glad you asked. I'll tell you. So, my preference on physical type for women was yellow bone, homegrown. You know what I'm saying? She is not yellow.
No.
This lighting may look like she is far from yellow. But if I stuck with that, and I don't want to hear y'all in the comments talking about colorism. We all got preferences. Y'all like chocolate men, blah, blah, blah. But that was my preference, but was not a requisite. So if I meet a strong, Christian, beautiful black woman that's brown or chocolate, I'm not saying, oh, she doesn't meet my checklist, so I'm not even going to consider her.
Right.
So that's the difference between preference and requisite. Right. Requisite is she got to be this color, this tone, this height, this shape, or it's a deal breaker.
And see, that's where y'all start missing out. Yeah. Okay. Now, we know this is a whole nother topic, and we really will be addressing this because a lot of you all are counting out really good people based upon just some preferences. Yeah. I mean, things usually that are cosmetic that you can change. I mean, he got a few extra pounds on him. Okay.
And it's not that it could be, doesn't have a college degree. Well, there are a lot of millionaires that never attended college.
Say that.
A lot of successful veterans, things like that.
Yes.
So entrepreneurs. We have friends that never got a college degree, worked their way up from $7 an hour all the way almost to the C-suite.
You better say it.
So little things. It's not all physical. It could be degree, what kind of job, what kind of car, things like that. So just squash that and look at the character and the growth opportunity.
Yes, yes. But again, you both will change. It's just a matter of will it be for the better or the worse.
Talk to him.
Number 8. This is a big one. This is one that I believe that has really kept our marriage fresh and happy and afloat. Yes. And that is number 8. Time apart is just as important as time together.
Absolutely. Everybody type in the comment section, me-cation, M-E-cation.
What is a vacation? No, you tell them what a vacation is.
Tell them, let's, truth be told, keep it, not fancy it up, is you need time apart from your significant other.
Yeah.
Because we're humans, so we're not even talking pandemic, just if we're always together, you go to work, come home, we need some time to have our own thoughts, process our own feelings, and just kind of do what we want for a time. So it could be just you renting a hotel room up the street. If you have kids and you don't want to be too far away, so turn the phone off, but if it's an emergency, call the hotel room, things like that. Go stay with your mom or your parents or something like that. Go to a short little trip to Galveston, just something where you can get away and just have some time for yourself to do what you want, think how you want, and respond how you feel.
Right. And some of us may be saying, you know what, we have kiddos, we can't break away for that long. That's okay.
Babysit your own kids.
Woo, another topic.
Other one go. And even if it's just 8 hours, maybe you don't have the money to rent a hotel room. Just go do something you want without interruption. Not having to pick up the phone, reply to text, FaceTime every 30 minutes or an hour. Just this is mom or dad's time. Right. Let them go, and then you take the kids.
Right. And even if you if you can't get away for long periods of time, maybe it's an hour to go get a massage, or maybe it's an hour to go, do yoga, something that brings you joy. Because you would be surprised, just an hour away from your family, you can come back so much more refreshed and rejuvenated and actually miss them little suckers,
Absolutely. And I'll give you an example, a live example today. Needed to go take my car to the mechanic. Typically drop it off, come back home. Wife said, hey, you want me to follow you and pick you up? I said, no, I'm fine. I'll stay there.
I didn't know how to take that, but I let him have it.
Because just I got the chance to sit in the lounge, do work without interruptions, and just think what I wanted to think, feel what I wanted to feel without, hey, by the way, hey, this, that, and the third. So not that we have a problem, but we're at home 24/7. So hey, this is a little 1 hour away. Awesome.
Yeah, and he came back much more rejuvenated and refreshed. So you come back a better version of you when you take the time to separate and have some time apart. That's the bottom line. Yeah. Don't take it personal when your spouse says they need that time.
Now, it's all in how you package it as well, or how you set the foundation. I can say, no, don't come pick me up, because we already set the foundation that we need time apart.
Yes.
You know, so if you let them know ahead of time, there won't be an offense, and now you won't have to deal with that drama.
That's good. That's good. Because some of us get a little sensitive about that.
Yes, y'all do. Yes, y'all
do. Number 9. Things will change after you have children. Period.
You know, they say there's 2 guarantees in life, death and taxes. They need to add that third one.
What's that?
Things will change when you have kids.
That is a guarantee. And that is why we encourage you to take the time, the first couple of years, to really get to know each other and the foundation. Now, you may be saying, well, we've been knowing each other forever. We dated for 10 years, all that stuff. I get it. But that time that you take after you get married really seals the deal for you all. You learn each other's ticks and quirks and just so much more than what you would be able to learn if you added another little human being. Now, I get it. Some of you all are saying, little CC, I don't have time for that. We got to start having some babies. I'm 45. I get it. Just take into consideration, it is so, so crucial that you have that time to really bond together.
Build that foundation, because no matter how much time you spent together individually, when you add a kid into the mix, that's a whole nother variable in that equation. And we go from algebra to calculus real quick.
Straight up.
And some of y'all may not be good at math.
and you know what, too? I think a lot of times, I love the conversation that we had with Fern and Christopher. Yes. Shout out to Fern and Christopher Dawkins. Yeah. They were so transparent. Yes, they were like, y'all did not prepare us for having children. Thanks, friends. Y'all did not keep it real with us. And the truth of the matter is that sometimes another spouse may start to feel abandoned, neglected. There's so much that
postpartum, yeah.
There's a lot that goes into the equation. Having children is a beautiful thing, but how much more beautiful can it be when it is with a solid foundation between two people who have really taken the time to cultivate their marriage?
Absolutely.
That's all we're going to say on that. Your marriage will change after having children. Just make sure it's on a solid foundation.
Children are the future.
They are the future.
Beautiful creatures.
They are.
In y'all house.
And even after you start having them, you have to even work even harder to maintain that friendship and having your date nights. We can go on and on about this, but the point of the matter is that you have to understand how crucial it is after you have children.
Yeah. So make sure you have the foundation. We're not saying don't have kids.
No.
Have a strong foundation before you have them.
That's it.
Yeah.
Period. And then the last one here, the best marriages get tune-ups.
Ooh, tweet.
The best marriages get tune-ups. So just like we told you that you need to make sure that you take premarital counseling, you need to be doing some form of
ongoing maintenance
even after you get married. Now, some of y'all may be saying, well, we need to do that for? We married now. What we doing?
Right. I liken it to a luxury car versus a domestic car. So let's say we got a Ford. You still got to have maintenance, but it doesn't require as much, right?
Right.
But when you get a Mercedes or a Porsche or something like that, that's a luxury vehicle. There's a lot more that comes with it, a lot more benefits and features. Yes. So those high-end parts need maintenance and tune-ups. And you can't just drive a Benz and not change the oil.
That's right.
But that oil change may cost $100 or $150, where Ford, it'll only be $19.99.
That's right. You better be checking that check engine light. When that check engine light comes on, when you all have hit a dead road and impasse, like you all just cannot seem to get on the same page, that is a key indicator that, it might be time for us to get some outside counsel.
Everybody type tune up in the comments.
I like that. It might be time to go see the mechanic.
Might be. And that mechanic could be your counselor, a pastor, or a trusted advisor or friend. Now, don't go tell your family your business and your complaints, because they'll turn on them at Thanksgiving.
Yes, they will. They will never forgive him or her.
So keep the trouble and the drama out of family and friends' mouths, and make sure that you are communicating with trusted advisors that will keep your business confidential.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, those are the 10 things that nobody really tells you about marriage that if you can adhere to them, that will definitely increase the longevity of your marriage. Once again, marriage comes in seasons. There will always be something. Of course, there are more than 10 things, but these are the primary 10 that we believe can really help you get through this thing.
Absolutely.
So before we go here, Sutton Adventures is ready for you. I know you all are ready to get up out the house. We're very excited to announce that our Bay and Brunch this Saturday is sold out. We are looking forward to a safe, social distanced event. Yes. It will be at the Trez Art and Wine Bar. We are so excited. Carl Mays will be curating the vibes for us.
Yeah, it's going to be grown and sexy. This is not the pretentious place where you're just going to be taking selfies the whole time. We're going to actually socially distance, interact with other couples safely, but actually have a good chance to get out the house, network with other like-minded individuals, and just have a good time and relax.
That's it. So we're looking forward to all those couples who have already RSVP'd and have already secured their brunch. Yes. Now, the moment we have all been waiting for, coming up in February for Valentine's Day. We need you there in the house. It is going to be a beautiful time in Acumal, Mexico, February 13th through the 17th. We have curated the perfect trip for you. All you have to do is just come. Yes. And to ensure that you come, because we know you deserve this trip,
you deserve it.
What have we done?
We have partnered with Affirm Finance, so now you can travel now and pay later. So you can finance this trip, pay for it in full, and then make convenient monthly payments with low interest rates on the back end. So we made every way possible or avenue possible to make this trip convenient for you. We're only taking 15 couples to keep it social distance.
That's it. And we've had over 100 couples express interest, and we hear you guys. We see you in the inbox asking about the trip. We know you're excited. Please know that we have done every possible measure to ensure that this is a safe trip for you. As you all know, we went back in September, was it?
Approximately,
About September. Took all the necessary measures, and we came back safe and healthy. So we are anticipating
caught
the
four
same.
Flights,
caught
two
four
there,
flights.
two going with connections.
And
by the grace of God, we're still healthy. No contraction. We took extra precautions, wore 2 masks,
strengthen our immune systems. Yes. So if you head on over to SuttonAdventures.com, you'll see everything that you need to get started. Your deposit is due by November 30th. We are looking forward to having you. It is going to be a beautiful, beautiful
Instead
trip.
of spending all that money on Black Friday for the TVs you already got, go ahead and get flued out with us.
Come on and get flued out. Again, SuttonAdventures.com. Please be sure to also join our Facebook group, Sutton Adventures. We want to make sure that you stay abreast on everything that we have going on. We try to curate couples events for you monthly just to keep you sane and interacting with other fun couples. So that's what it's all about right now, just doing things safely. It doesn't mean that you got to stay in the house cooped up for the rest of your lives, okay?
Live, but live cautiously.
That's good. I like that. So we want to thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Once again, please share this with someone that you may think could really use this. Every week, we're just trying to bring a good word to let you know that marriage is not doom and gloom. We have a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. We have our challenges, but we have way more fun than challenges.
Yeah. So you can too. If you just take some necessary precautions to make it so, put a little elbow grease into it, Indeed. I promise it'll come out looking beautiful for you as well. So thank you once again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at the right time of 7 p.m. without technical glitches. But thank you again for joining us tonight.
It's Rona's fault. Yeah, have a good one.
Take care.